Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing a 4-color legendary Greasefang pile that did incredibly well in paper recently, played by Kyle Gonzalez in a NRG or Nerd Rage Gaming 5K trial in Detroit, Michigan. This is the list if you would like to see it and play it. Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and hop into the games where it performed incredibly well. Yeah, we can keep this. Kind of serving the purpose we probably want here, so sure. Lonza, grow. Use the Ornithopter later to maybe see if there's some shenanigans like a counter spell, but looks like removal is online. We'll shock this. We'll play this. Now we play the Mox Amber. The reason we play Mox Amber, we could have held it to tap, but we want to use it as a white to be able to pay for the Skrelv to give Rona protection from red if needed. Sure. Turn. Draw, we find a Parhelion, we bin it. We'll cast this, maybe try to wheel it. We'll keep the regular one. Draw and discard. No Greasy Gang yet. Honestly, we'll keep the flagship. We'll get rid of Verona. Only one problem. We can't really interact. And if they play a thing, whatever it's called, it will mog me. I will be upset. They could just be energy, but I'm not entirely sold that they are. I mean, I'll take 2. Can't block anyway, so. Okay. Draw. I guess I can just let the flagship go. No reason to hold it around. We'll cast this. We'll have Rona activate. We won't attack with Rona or do anything with Rona here because we want to activate it. Okay, only the bottom part sorcery. We want to activate it on like their turn again in order to throw the Parhelion back into the graveyard. Kind of the sweet part about playing Rona is just a repeated discard outlet. Move to combat. I have a red available. Oh. Be fine. We'll return to Parhelion. Screw it up. So I would assume there were just like the Brawl version of this deck. Because like if they weren't, you would definitely see them kind of stick around, just go ahead and get to their turn, maybe play the thing that uses 6 energy and wheels, and then they have options to get like maybe an Emrakul or something like that, or an Ulamog, and put those in play. But I guess they were like an energy short, but I can't think of the card. Yeah, so it's a little bit weird to try to evaluate these like Greasefang hands with this particular deck because like we don't have any way to put a lot of cards in our graveyard, nor do we have an outlet. But we do have Rona into Rafine, so we can definitely find a window in order to play it. Mono green. Mono green's pretty bad because Karn beats us up, but that's kind of the purpose of playing this version of the deck. We'll hold on to Odawara if we can. We'll take a little bit of damage here. If this is mono green, devotion / ramp. No, it's elves. Which now I have a better chance, maybe? I don't have to feel as locked into this Odawara as we may seem to be. We'll draw a discard. We'll get rid of the cart. I'll play a Greasefang. Move to combat. Bring back the cart. through here. We'll attack with cards. Make copy of cast. Now they have options. They're going to take the 4, of course. It'll go back to our hand. But now we have the option to draw with Rona on instep, discard the Chariot, draw again, play Rafine, or even play like a Shieldred to untap it again. And the value Shieldred will make on drawing effects. You have quite the beefy board with 2/2s that match up pretty well with these 1/1s because they haven't played a Lord yet. Nor do they have a black mana to play the poison. It's not poison tip archer. The one that drains for however many elves you control. Again, we'll draw here. We'll bend this Chariot. At the very least, we'll activate. We have lands to get rid of if needed. There's a part healing on, and now we probably won't need to. Play Rafine. Turn on taps. Play Plaza. Could have maybe used it. We'll play the Amber out as well. I keep forgetting Amber will work with Rona, but you know, Arena hand holding me a little bit and helping me out. Otawara is only active for 1 blue mana, so anything troublesome comes along, we have the answer. Greasefang the crew. Okay, next. I think they have to block if I swing this because they're at 13, so they have to end up blocking out and it's less good value. But if you're curious, the other really cool part about this deck is legendary, legendary, legendary. Otawara will be able to channel for 1 blue mana here, and Plaza can tap for any color of legendary you control. We have Esper here on just Rafine alone, so it can tap for a blue, black, or white. And then even a Mox Amber to make the 2nd mana if we were needed to use Otawara to bounce something. Alfred. I need to go first. I don't have a blue. Oh man, this hand's kind of cool. I kind of wanted to try a hand like this with Emery in it, but we have a Rafine. We have Skrelv on 1. No mana to race early. I think we maul. Yeah, and this hand is just as good, if not maybe a little bit better. We had to, I don't know. I think we get rid of Shieldred here. Shieldred's obviously good, but we need to Chariot for other reasons. At the Confluence, we have to play out our Skrelv here. We hold the Amber because Amber can untap Rona. We've learned this from the first couple of games we played. I always thought this said legendary creature because I've only seen this really in standard be played. Or like in the combo decks that can like untap everything with Rona, but it is just a legendary spell in general. So Mox Amber will be able to untap it. Green white kind of screams that it is Angels, but they didn't do anything early. We do this, we hold Amber once again. Which is kind of cool because we actually have a lineup to, even if we don't draw anything relevant with Rona, we can actually play Amber and Chariot. So it is Angels. So we can just start getting our stuff developed. We'll activate Rona now immediately. Shieldred's good as well. Maybe we just play the Shieldred. Shieldred can just put enough value in and of itself. But we have another activation chance here. Activate. We'll let the Skrelv go. We'll play a Shieldred. Let's wait. We'll probably cycle again with Rona. Could be a Skyclave here. Could be Angels. Gain some life. Like a friend Angel. Somewhere else. A little late on that, so this kind of tells us this was their draw, even though they played a land tapped on turn 1. But if you're Angels, you don't really care to shock in a land early. No attack on a Vigilance creature, sure. We're getting this life. We'll draw. There's a Greasefang. What an incredible find. I was going to flip this and have trample and it, like, just go that route, but I'm just going to play Greasefang now. I'll just activate this. Plaza is a little bit better. We'll bend here. We'll activate again, just in case. Rona can go. Hold this for cycles later. No. Nah, we'll just play it now. We'll come in. It'll bring back my cart. I'll crew the cart with this. Then we'll move in with Shieldred and this. Make a copy of our cat. Even if they don't block, it breaks down a lot of their aggressive plays that they can have in terms of playing the Angels and buffing their entire board. Ooh. I'm a little zonked out of it. Just had a big weekend. Work at Apex. You've heard about it. A lot of people came up. Oh, you got to meet Young Dingo, Corey Bowmeister, John Anderson was there, Niall, Robin, Elliot Raff. All those people were there. It was a really, really fun time. I missed a couple people. I know I did. Mason Clark was there. See, now I feel like I'm going to name everybody, and there's going to be one person missing, and I'm going to feel really bad about it. But yeah, it was a really fun weekend. I had a blast. I'm glad we got to host it. Especially if you enjoy paper. We had a 5K and a 2K, working towards a 20K. Other than that, we're going to get into these games and try to see it play out. Here's the only problem for our opponent. Well, Odoar is a pretty good problem. Draw this card. See what we got. You can discard Chariot here. Gain. We can cast this Skrell. Untap. Keep our original. Activate again. We'll let the Plaza go. Just to gain some life. See, we're the life gain deck here now. Let's just move this out of play. Put it back in their hand. Get up into combat territory. This will come in. We'll crew. And now we'll do it like this. So the reason we end up doing it this way is we use the summoning 6 creatures. The Chariot will have haste. We'll swing for 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 18. And we can give our Greasefang protection from like white. So they won't be able to kill it anyway here. So we can give it protection from white. So only the Landwar Elves can block Greasefang. These aren't big enough to trade out to Shieldred. There's another 4/4 coming in. Their life is never going to get high enough to be a problem. So, performing well so far. It's been really nice. We go first. I really just want to play Emery for cheaper with a Skrelvin play, but it looks like it's not going to happen today. So, I'll keep this though. I have equipment. I have a Shieldred. I have a pretty like generic fair game plan, I guess. We'll play this. This can play Thalia and all my legendaries in my deck. Blue-red creativity is what seems like is up the alley for us right now. Thalia might be able to put its work in. Making the art more expensive, but we have another play to make anyway. Fucking Numa time. Emery time. A little bit of a weird one. There's a Thalia in play, so they're not able to make this appear the Emery, if that was their plan. No way that Greasefang's an artifact, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. The combat? Hesitation here. They have something. Oh, it's a Chariot? When we're walking into a Mythic Pierce, I kind of want the Shieldred to be the one that eats it. Or the Chariot to eat it. I want Shieldred to stay around. I was not expecting the negate. They do play a 1 of negate. Oh, no shock there. Kind of tells us they might be a little light, but Fable's a very good card. There's a Skrell. Play this. So come in, remove that, and then we can also play Shieldred next turn with the Skrell, and then crew this and attack and shoot something else down if needed. Or even get to the point that we tap, activate, target the Chariot, bring some stuff out, but they're gonna choose to get rid of Emery there this time. A good backup plan here on this aspect. Fire off Shieldred. Nope. They find something here. Yeah. Oh. Worst case scenario, Skrell and Thalia can crew the Sky Sovereign, so. Tap. Thalia. Sure. Drawing now. Behold being like a 1 of. This does scream to me more that this is the Gearhulk version, but I could be wrong. Thalia coming in. Through here. Put that down. So they have no token. Hit. This is 3 to give it indestructible, so we'll shock this in. We can protect our Thalia with our land. And they concede. Okay. They kept a card on top and then conceded, and I don't know why. Maybe they thought their Fable was going to stick around. They didn't realize that we could crew with both our Skrell and Thalia there. Well, unsure. To go first, I got Courtyard and the Skrell and Nerona to discard the Parhelion and have it protected with the Skrell if Skrell doesn't get removed on turn 1. Yeah, this one screams of a snap keep. Go Skrell down. See what happens here. And a Confluence has been such a nice addition to Explorer. Obviously, it's in Pioneer, but like making sure that we have it. Oh, that does not feel great. You don't want to take Parhelion. You have to just take a copy of Rona. They probably had the choice between Thoughtseize and removing the Skrell, but now my Rona's going to be able to stick around. No attacks. We'll just pass through the turn. Black and green. Gunned. Or is it just green black? First they remove Skrell. We're just going to let it happen. I don't think there's a green effect that would deal with this. Oh, they're just Greasefang. They just haven't played a white source, and they had played 2 flip lands. Yeah, okay. That's not good. Draw. We hit a Greasefang. We do not. We let one of our Parhelions go. Let this Dark Slick Shores come in. We can always channel this Takenuma. We'll do it on their turn. They found a Mana Confluence, so it just needs to be that. Makes sense. Does make sense. No removal here. Let's cycle this Takenuma. Or channel it. It's not a cycle. Yes. Realistically, we just grabbed the Thalia. Good an Emery. We'll loot. Find a Greasefang. Play an Odawara. We'll slam our Greasefang. They have some removal, maybe. Parhelion? I I was assuming they might even have Turn the Earth, to be honest with you. They could have Besage you. We're going to see this tap. Probably going to see probably healing up, but then, oh no. They let me declare as an attacker, so I'm going to make my tokens. I don't know what they have that's holding up the hesitation. We'll see us do something a little bit weird. We'll activate this now, just in case. We draw a Mox Amber or something. Emery was active, but I do think we let Emery just go now. I thought about doing it where I just wait for my Parhelion and discard it, but I was going for the high play of playing a Thalia. Here goes the Mutt. They haven't hit anything. But I think we're getting to kind of see some of the value difference between the two decks. I've played like this Greasefang deck that they're currently playing in paper, and the only real problem I had with it is it always felt like you're so dedicated to that game plan. Like you're so dedicated to this mill game plan that you're so vulnerable to it. So it's like a good game to end on, by the way. That you're so vulnerable to this. I have to put it in my graveyard, then I have to find a Greasefang. Where this version of the deck the person made, I can be aggressive, I can play creatures, and I can play active game plans. Like Rona flipping is not a bad win condition in terms of the value that if they remove our Rona, our Greasefang is going to live. If they remove our Fiend, they had to pay wards so we can get a Greasefang down after. We have Thalia to kind of tax them. We have Emery to play Parhelions from the graveyard if we ever find ourselves flooding too hard, or Chariots, or Mox Ambers. It can even target a Skrelv and bring it back, because Emery itself is just targeting an artifact. Skrelv, Mox Amber, Chariot, Parhelion, all being artifacts. It's just like Emery finds itself getting incredibly good value, and Mox Amber allowing us to cheat things out early because of Skrelv being a legendary, or coming in early with a Rona, giving us 2 loots. There's a lot this deck has in terms of synergy, and it's really good in like a best of 1 start. But let's go talk about the deck at the end, where we can kind of see all the cards spread out. Okay, so we have the deck list here. This might single-handedly be one of my most favorite decks currently being played right now. It was played, let's pull it up here while I talk about the deck. It was played in NRG. I'm not entirely sure where the deck first surfaced up. If you don't know what NRG is, it's a paper tournament. They had a 5,000 trial in Detroit, Michigan for Pioneer that happened this weekend, the same weekend I talked about our Apex event. But it was played by Kyle Gonzalez, I think. It's called Esper Legends. It has some green for the Chariot, but we play Mana Confluence so we can play it. But it went 6-0-1 before top 8. I believe that would be before top 8. And then it got first place. So that means it went 6-0-1 and then went undefeated on the day. And I can definitely tell why. It has a very, very strong game 1 aspect to it, especially when you're on the play and you get these type of Skrelv Mox Amber hands, or even like you can even do something silly. Like we did one in a loss where we had a Skrelv, 2 Mox Ambers, and we're just like, we play a Plaza, which is a land that's kind of on the up and up and has made a lot of value. But we play a Skrelv, and then we can next turn play 2 Mox Ambers and play out a 4-drop like Shieldred or Chariot, and do a lot of these higher mana things earlier and put a lot of pressure on our opponents. We didn't get to play against mono white humans. We played against Angels. I don't think we played against Rakdos, but I think his deck benefits a little bit from that matchup in terms of like Ronan needs removed, Thalia needs removed. If you don't remove the Skrelv, you can't remove any of these, so these are cards that need removed. This helps generate the value early when we can need it. Emery can generate value. You have to remove it, or I'm going to just start casting all these artifacts from our graveyard, like another Mox Amber, or a Skrelv, or Sky Sovereign, or Parhelion if we get to that point, of course. But what's the benefit of playing all these legendaries? These uncounterable lands that we get to play more copies than playing 1-of basics. We get to play Nganjo as a 1-of, Odawara as a 3-of, and Takenuma as a 2-of. Odawara we cast or had the chance to cast multiple times at 1 mana. We did cast it once. I think the other time we just held it. The game was over anyway. But then Takenuma, we only had 3 lands, but because we had so many legendaries, we were able to cycle this or channel this for 3, even though it only reduces it by 1, but might have been able to channel it for 2. I don't quite remember. But then we get the added value of being able to play Mana Confluence, but have Shieldred to kind of help gain that life back. And then we didn't get to see Rafine pop off that much, but Rafine's going to allow us to generate a ton of value on some of our smaller end creatures along with itself, because it itself does not have to attack to trigger its ability. So whenever you attack with Parhelion or the Seeker's Chariot, whenever you bring them back with the Greasefang, they can also trigger this Rafine and draw you extra cards and keep constantly getting those cards in the graveyard that you need. Other than that, I had a blast playing this deck. I really enjoy it. We found 1 loss for us personally, but again, congrats to Kyle on going undefeated on it on the weekend, I believe. At least was undefeated in the opening Swiss rounds. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I definitely am probably going to play this deck more just because I strictly enjoyed the deck a lot. Other than that, I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.